Hello and welcome to the Board Game Bros podcast. Normally a podcast in Dutch, but this time a special episode around Spiel. We did a few interviews at Spiel live this year, and in this episode you can hear what the publisher were talking about and which games that they showed at this convention. In the description below you can see the timestamps for the different publishers. We start with Wise Wizard Games, after that we go to Matagot Friends, where you have a chat at Pandasaurus, Lucky Duck Games, finish at the Alderac Entertainment Group. Hopefully you will enjoy the show and thank you for listening.
Hello, thank you for your time.
Of course.
Rob from Wise Wizard Games, right?
Yep.
Nice to be here on Spiel this year and to see you here with your... I'm a big fan of Star Realms, so I'm very happy to see it again. And we're going to make a small podcast with a few designers to talk about what are your newest games here on Spiel and you wanted to show us for the big people for the upcoming holidays.
Yeah. So the new thing we have here at Spiel is Kapow. Kapow is a superhero versus supervillain two-player dice battle game. It has dice that are it has custom dice, and then it also has customizable dice. And each turn you start the game with some dice and a health score, and each turn you're going to roll your dice, and you've got a player board which has different attacks, defenses, ways to gain more dice, other things representing different superhero maneuvers you can do.
Yeah.
And you place your dice on your board. Basically, there's little icons on the things that you want to do. If you have the icons on your dice that match them, you just fill it in. So it's very easy. And then both players reveal what they did at the same time and attack each other, take your attack, subtract your opponent's defense. They take that much damage. You'll be gathering new dice and such during the course of the game if you spend dice to power up.
You can upgrade your dice, those customizable.
Yeah. So while it's a very different game from Star Realms, it feels a lot like Star Realms in that you're fighting and you're building up and you're trying to get your opponent's score down, and it plays fast.
Yeah.
It's fun.
I just saw a couple of rounds of just dice chucking, reveal your referee sheet, and you're filling it up. And
So it's a super fun game. The customizable dice are very nice. You can add faces to them during the course of the game, and just really high quality components. And there's 6 different heroes and villains you can play as, and each one of them has a solo mode. So if you want to play solo, you can play any of the characters yourself and fight against any of the solo mode of any one you want. So it's got a whole bunch of different matchups for solo play.
Cool. It's also a really comic-y feel. It's just like a comic book you're going through.
So like the box looks like a comic book. The rule book looks like a comic book. It's a fun theme.
Nice. I also saw a first game of Robot Arena.
Yeah, Robot Quest Arena. That's going to be coming out next year.
Yeah.
That game
is on Kickstarter this year, right?
Yeah. And that game is beautiful. It's really, really fun to play, fast, easy. It's a deck builder like Star Realms or Hero Realms, and you see a starting deck and play cards to buy things and cards to attack. But the big difference is you have a miniature, and there's an arena board that you move around. And that board will have tiles on it. There's locations that do special things. You can move those around from game to game, so you get different setups. And when you attack, your attacks will have a range. Some are hand-to-hand, some can attack a few spaces away. So where you are on the board matters. When you attack someone and damage them, you get cubes off their health cubes. You take them and you put them in front of you as victory points.
Okay.
If you lose the last health cube off your robot, you pick your robot up and you put it on off the board. And then as soon as your next turn starts, without missing anything, you can respawn, you just gain new health and get back in the fight.
So you keep on playing with each other until someone has enough victory points.
Yes, well, what happens is every time you respawn, you're going to grab 1 blue health cube and a bunch of red ones to fill out your health. When there's no more blue cubes left and someone tries to respawn, that ends the game. And then you just count whoever has the most points wins. So it's fast, fun, easy to play, wonderful mix of deck building with tabletop.
Cool
with,
miniatures.
and the miniatures
robots,
are awesome looking. So yeah, it's great. So that'll be coming to stores next year.
Yeah. So available at Spiel next year, probably.
Yes,
of
yes,
course.
yeah. Kapow we have in both English and German.
Yeah.
We've started printing Hero Realms in German again, and we're working on Star Realms. So we're going to have more and more products available in German, and we'll have them in English and German at Spiel next year.
Especially for Germany, because it's such a large market for your products, of course.
Yes. Germany's a great market. We were doing very well with Blackfire. Part of the acquisition of Blackfire with Asmodee made it so they couldn't produce our games directly anymore. So now we've taken over production and we'll be selling it to Blackfire, and they will sell it. So
and they do the distribution here.
Yeah.
Cool. Of course, this year also you guys started with the app for Hero Realms.
Yeah.
I saw really plays such nice as a Star Realm. So good.
It's a great app. It's really fun.
I really like the pit fights.
Yes.
Those are really hard. There is a last Kickstarter was for Star Realms, a legacy
Star Realms Rise of Empire. We're getting ready to send that to the printer.
Okay.
So it is phenomenal. You can check out the Kickstarter page for it, and there's a late backing option still available. But it's a prequel to the original Star Realms set, so it takes place before the first set, timeline-wise, and before the invasion of the Blob. So humans have not found any aliens yet. So, and it tells the story of the Star Empire rebelling from the Trade Federation and basically forming their own government. It's a 12-part legacy campaign. It features 3 new factions. So they are the neighbors of the Star Empire, the Kingdom, the Consortium, and the Scavengers. And you're trying to convince, each player is trying to convince them to join their side of the fight. So that market row is all different cards. And those governments got destroyed in the Blob War, so that's why they don't exist in the regular Star Realms. But the way we designed them, they work really well mixed in with any Star Realm set.
Cards, yeah. Because if you complete the legacy game, you have a complete card game, and you can also mix that with all the other
cards. Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's really cool.
It's very fun, and like you'll want to play. Most people will want to play through the campaign multiple times. We actually designed something called the Infinite Replay Kit that lets you play through as many times as you like and reset the game. Okay. So the first time you play through, you're using stickers and permanently changing stuff. And then if you want to play through more, you can get the Infinite Replay Kit, which has every single possible upgraded card, pre-printed, a new copy of the market deck, so you can just take the stuff that you played the first time, set it aside, and add that in and play through as many times as you like.
Okay, cool. So you can play that campaign, that legacy, multiple times.
And a lot of legacy games, the game lengths are very long, and you're like, when you're done with it, you probably don't want to go back and play it again.
Okay.
But with Star Realms, games are fast, they're fun. You're gonna want to. The scenarios are different in each, depending on who won the previous game, etc. So you're going to want to play through multiple times with it.
Cool. That's nice. That's really great for for your money, that you can replay it a lot of times, a legacy game.
Yes.
Especially such fast modules or scenarios.
And as you said, when you're done with it, if you don't want to replay it as a campaign, you can just use it as a Star Realm set and play it, mix it with their sets, play it as many times as you like in its final configuration. So, and your final construction will be different from someone else's final construction. So.
Nice. That's always great. Cool. Is there for next year something upcoming that you might want to put out or?
So we have for Hero Realms, we have a new Kickstarter coming probably next month. Our new policy is we finish the game fully, and then we bring it to Kickstarter.
The printer, and then
so basically, we have the files ready for printing, and after the Kickstarter is done, and we know how many units, we send it to the printer. So like a month or two after the Kickstarter ends, files to the printer. But we don't have any work to do on the game when the Kickstarter's
it's complete. It's done.
Right.
Yeah.
So basically, I can't say 100% the exact day, but we're almost done now. So I think sometime in next month we'll have the Hero Realms Dungeons Kickstarter, and that has a new deck to play, a 12-part dungeon adventure, and 6 new character classes. So it's fantastic stuff for Hero Realms.
A new character to start with, a new character deck.
Yeah.
And instead of against the boss, you're adventuring in dungeon.
Yes, so basically you can play PvP, or you can play together, solo or cooperative, in a dungeon battle against various monsters, gain experience, level up. Just like the Rune of Thandar campaign, you can adventure together and cooperatively battle against the bad guys.
Okay, cool, nice. So a new upcoming Kickstarter, and on another Kickstarter already funded and going to the printer. So there's going to be a lot of new games for next year. Great to see you guys expanding with all new different kind of games, of course. You also have Sorcerer, also a card game.
Card game and dice game, like a tabletop dice battle game combined with like a trading card style card game play. Everything is self-contained. There's no rare cards to chase or anything like that. And it's almost like taking a mix of like a game like Warhammer Fantasy Battle and Magic the Gathering and melding them together. It's really, really fun. Dark horror, fantasy horror themed.
Yeah, it looks really
it's great.
nice on the table with the components and the artwork and the dark setting.
It's a beautiful game. Yeah. So if you haven't played,
different from Star Realms and Hero Realms.
Very different. So it's not for the casual young kids or that sort of thing. It's a very meaty. It's not hard to understand. It's easier than a game like Magic the Gathering, for example, but it is really, really great play. If you haven't tried it out, check it out. It's gorgeous.
Cool. All right. Is there anything else you might want to share, or?
That's the big stuff we've got coming.
Then I want to thank you for your time, and
thank you.
We'll see each other next year, maybe.
Great. Thank you.
Cool.
So about our release at Matagot, I think that we can say the most important was Revive.
Yeah.
But it was this time for our Porta games, but we saw an excitement like never, because after like 10 minutes we have a queue of like 50 meters maybe.
Yeah.
It was huge and people were very excited to play this game, which is a really good one with good stuff. So we are glad to localize this game in France.
Yes, because it is from Aporta Games.
Yeah.
But Matagot is a publisher, but also a distribution center for other publishers.
Yeah, the fact that it's why we are called Matagot and Friends. For example, we work with Stone Layer, with Chili Fox, with Devil Pig Games, and in this way we can help each other to create board games and to distribute them all over the world.
Yeah.
So that's our point. We used to work like that because our boss and most of us are passionate of board games. So we do in what we trust, in fact.
Yes.
And so another release. One of the good ones is Peter Pan. In France, it is waiting by people. They really want to try it, and we saw a lot of French reviewers that came and say, "Oh, it's a great game," and "Oh, we want to have this," and so people are getting excited about it because the mechanics are good.
Yes.
The material is good, and the illustration. So it's a really good one too. And one of the last is also Perfect Shot. Perfect Shot is a game that seems to be simple at the first view, because you just have to guess if you are a shot of an animal. But in fact, there's a lot of combo that you can do. And so people really love to play in family or just with friends, because it's really fun.
Light,
it's fun. It's a light
family.
one. Yeah, perfect.
Cool.
That's the point. And so I think that's like the most important ones. We have also come together.
Yes, I'm really sorry. The team and the feeling on the board looks really nice. Really
Yeah.
that 70s, 60s hippie feeling.
Yeah, you really have the feeling to be the one who prepare the festival and wants to do like Woodstock and all of that stuff. So it's a really, really, really good one with once again really good materials, and as you said, the theme is just perfect.
Yeah.
It's just perfect, and it's
Really
just
fresh.
so,
Never heard something about it like this before. So
yeah, it's just so cool to recruit some singers and all of that stuff. Really,
Yeah.
really, really a good one. And I think that it was the most important for the festival, for the fair. Yeah, it was
Okay.
those games.
and also for upcoming holiday season, like a light family game that's gonna push you guys for a lot of selling, hopefully.
I have to be honest, and I have to say that I don't really know for the moment because I work a lot about the friends. And
Yes.
as I said, we have the friends. We have all over the world, but the part of friends take a lot of time to me. So I have some clues, but I can't really tell something for the moment.
No.
I have to wait a bit.
Cool. Okay. I want to thank you for your time.
Yeah, you're
And
welcome.
really happy to have you on our show, and looking forward to see you next year maybe on Spiel.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. You're welcome.
Hello, thank you for having some time for us at Board Game Brothers podcast. We are here at Pandasaurus on Spiel this year. Your name was, sorry?
My name is Reina, and I'm the marketing manager at Pandasaurus Games.
Okay, now very cool. I just already seen that a lot of games were already sold out on Saturday, so you did a good you had a good adventure for this.
So
moment.
to be fair, half of our games didn't make it in through customs,
Okay,
but the games that we did get in, they were our newer copies, so
Yeah.
they were the best games to get in, and yeah, we completely sold out.
nice, nice. I just want to have a small interview about the new games you're showing here
Sure.
at the Spiel for the upcoming holidays season. It's always an important time this year, I think.
Uh-huh. So there are probably 3 games that I want to talk about, if that's okay.
Yeah.
The first one is called Nacho Pile, and it is a push your luck, take that literal chip counting party game.
Yeah.
So this is meant to be our game for the year that we're trying to get, into mass market. It's for games, it's for casual players, it's for younger kids and family members. In this game, you are drawing chips out of the bag one by one, and all these chips have different numbers on them. And at any point, you can choose to either stop or to keep going and pushing your luck.
Yeah.
Now, the reason you might want to stop is because if you ever draw out a chip that's the same as one you already have in front of you, then you bust and you have to put everything back in the bag.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you decide that you want to stop and you haven't busted yet, any other player who has chips in front of them with the numbers that you drew, you actually get to steal from them and place in front of you.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's like where the take that comes in.
Mhm.
So by the time it comes back around to the beginning of your next turn, if you still have any chips left in front of you, because you also might get them stolen, you actually put them onto your plate where they're safe from being stolen at all. Now the game ends once there is one chip left in the bag, and this is the unique part about this game. You draw that chip out, and whoever has the most of that number is the winner.
Okay. So you don't know. You can have a lot of chips.
Yes.
But it doesn't mean that you're the winner of the game.
Exactly. And so you can really try to game it and be strategic if you want by counting
Yeah.
the chips that everyone has.
Or you're
But
just
it's
going,
also
going
meant to
full
be
on one number and.
yeah, it's also meant to be just super fun and lightweight and something
Yeah.
to play at the end of the night.
Cool. And it looks really nice. It's really like you're
Yes.
having nacho chips. And
For those of y'all who are listening, the chips are in this bag that you can totally just place in your pantry. It looks like it's like a chip bag
Yeah.
itself. And then the nacho chips are also plastic, so super high quality. And we're really proud of the production on that.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Thank you. Another game which we had on Kickstarter earlier this February and it started delivering now is called Skate Summer. And this was a game inspired by Tony Hawk's Pro Skater video game.
Yeah.
And so the first phase of the game is really push your luck again. You're playing skateboard tricks to your board, and depending on which side you play it to, you have to move your balance token in that direction.
Okay. Yeah.
After everyone plays a trick, then you're going to roll some balance dice and then adjust your balance accordingly based on the results. So it's all about trying to keep your balance, because if you ever hit the end of either spectrum, then you bail and you lose that last trick that you played.
Yeah.
Now, if you choose to land your trick, it's nice because you get to upgrade your skills, and your skills are what score you points, or one of the ways that they score you points. So after that first phase, we move on to the second phase, which is the map of Pelican Park.
Yeah.
And you're going to use the cards that you played to your board to move around the map. And there's different hexes in there. So each hex has a different icon on it that corresponds to the tricks that you played. So you have to discard those cards in order to move into those hexes.
Okay. So first you're gonna play tricks with your skateboard. You're trying to balance it and that kind of stuff. After that, you're gonna move on the board and you pay with those tricks.
Exactly,
to,
yes.
To go further in the game.
Yep, and you're just trying to collect gold tokens, because at the end, whoever has the most of each kind gets points.
Yeah.
And also visit these skater locations to upgrade your board and make everything more efficient.
Okay.
So it's a little bit of engine building in that way as well.
Cool. A very unique team.
It is,
Yeah.
yes. And I was a little nervous because skateboarding is really big in America.
Yeah.
From what I can tell, it's not that big in Germany, or in Europe at least. But it absolutely sold out here at Spiel, so
Yeah,
we're just
cool.
super excited that...
I think, especially about this unique team, it's not like fantasy or what, it's just like skating, and I never see a game about that skating part.
Yes,
so.
and if anyone's familiar with skating, it's very thematic. The mechanics are very thematic to the
Yeah.
game, and it's really great.
I think almost everyone played at least one Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
Exactly. He has so many of them, so you had to have played one of them.
Ah.
Yeah. And then the last game that I want to talk about is the game that has been getting the most buzz here at Spiel, and probably the most buzz that we've gotten this year, and it's a game called The Wolves.
Yeah, it was on my top 5 for Spiel.
That's so awesome. Thank you for
It
making
looks
that.
so awesome. That cover and the whole
Yes,
game. But
it's so beautiful. Really proud of it. So this is like a pack building, area control, sort of engine building game as well. Each player takes on the role of a different pack of wolves.
yeah.
And you're trying to move around the board, trying to score, control different regions, and also dominate each other's wolves. And the way that you do that is by this unique action selection mechanism. On top of your board, you have different terrain cards that are double-sided, and they correspond to the 5 different terrains that are on the board.
Mm-hmm.
So in order to take an action in a terrain, you have to flip over that many of those terrain tiles. And then you get 2 actions per turn, so it's all about setting yourself up for bigger turns, because the most powerful actions take the most terrain cards to flip over.
Okay, yeah.
So as you get more wolves out, and dens out, and layers out, you'll eventually trigger some scoring conditions, and then you look at that part of the board, and whoever has the most presence in that section gets points. There's also this mechanism where you can dominate other players' wolves, because you have both the alpha wolves, which are the bigger wolves, and then the pack wolves, which are the smaller ones. And if your opponent has a lone pack wolf that's near your alpha wolf, you can dominate them as long as they're within range, and you pay the terrain tiles to flip them, and then get them off of the board, essentially.
Yeah.
So,
And that kind of aspects are really like, it's also in nature like that, how it's going. Dus I really like how you put it in the game, very, very strong. Yeah.
yes, it's definitely very thematic, because everyone is stalking each other around the board, trying to get within range of each other, but also making sure that your wolves, your pack wolves, are protected, and they're not going to get dominated. And it's really great. The art is beautiful. The cover is definitely, literally an eye catcher.
Yeah. And all those colors are really bright, and it looks amazing.
Thank you so much. So those are the 3 games that we're really pushing for this year. Really excited about, and it's also 3 different weights. You have Natural Power, which is like a party game. Skate Summer, which is light medium, and then the Wolves, which is still medium, but there's a lot of, to be honest, there could be some analysis paralysis in there.
There's a lot going on the board.
Exactly, yes.
Then my last thing was like, you just finished the Kickstarter, right, for the Fox Experiment?
Yes. So the Fox Experiment is a game designed by Elizabeth Hargrave, who's a designer of Wingspan, as well as Jeff Frazier, who used to do development for Pandasaurus. And this is a game, it's based on the Siberian-Russian fox experiment, where basically these scientists were trying to replicate the process of domestication that we see in house animals like dogs and cats, but in foxes. And so the way that they wanted to do that was to select only the friendliest foxes to go on and breed and produce more pups. And they saw that as they did that, that these new pups developed certain traits, such as, you know, they barked more at humans, they developed spots, their tails got curlier. And so the whole game is basically inspired by that experiment.
Yeah.
On your turn, you choose a mother and father fox to breed, and then you get those selected trait dice from the game, and then you roll them, and then you try to make whole traits with the dice, kind of fit them together and such. Afterwards, you draw a personal pup card from your player deck, and then you mark off the whole traits that you completed onto your pup card. So it's like a small roll and write aspect there. And the cool thing is that afterwards, all the pups that everyone created go into the market for the next generation or the next round, and so they become candidates to become parents in the next round.
Okay.
And so you literally see these traits being passed down, and how as these foxes become more friendly, they also have all these different traits as well.
Yeah, you're gonna breed with the new foxes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And one of the great things about this game is it's so hard to describe because, yes, it does have a roll and write aspect, but to call it a roll and write game, we're doing it such a disservice. It's also very much a Euro game because there's different ways to score. You have end game scoring objectives, personal scoring objectives. You have upgrades on your board that can get you more points. And so really you can dip your toes anywhere and you'll score points somehow.
Yeah, cool. And that will be for next year, hopefully on Spiel?
Yes.
Or,
So we are hoping that it will be shipping to backers in the summer of next year.
Yeah.
So we should be getting it for Spiel. Yeah.
Okay. Anything for Dinosaur World upcoming more? I'm a big fan of that game also.
That's great. Nothing coming up right now. I think we're trying to work on an expansion for Raw and Right. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me.
And hopefully see you next year over here in
Yes,
Europe.
absolutely.
And yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me, Bree from Lucky Duck Games.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for being here.
And how is the convention so far? We're on the last day, so I can imagine you're a bit tired.
Yes, a bit. But the convention has been fantastic. We're very happy with the turnout, with the interest in our games.
Yes.
Especially in Flamecraft, we've had over 800 copies here. We're sold out.
Yeah.
So we've been very happy with.
Nice. Flamecraft is a new title. It's is it already from Kickstarter going to the
Yes.
backers?
So it was originally kickstarted by Cardboard Alchemy, and they're delivering to backers right now.
Okay.
They're more than 2/3 of the way through a massive, they're shipping to 30,000 people.
Yeah, and a lot of language, because I know in Dutch, White Goblin Games is doing the Dutch production.
And all of those partnerships were originally went through Lucky Duck, through our worldwide publishing program.
Okay, so you do the worldwide publishing of Flamecraft, but you also chat with other publishers about language.
So our worldwide publishing program is, we act as an agent on behalf of the publishers like Cardboard Alchemy who want to localize their games in other languages. Lucky Duck publishes in English, French, Polish, and Italian, and so we publish the game ourselves in those languages, and then we work with other publishers to help them partner to publish the game in whatever language the publisher wants to publish it.
So wide as
right,
possible.
so Flamecraft is being published in German and Dutch and Spanish and Korean and Mandarin and Cantonese and
It's going to be a huge success for me.
I surely hope so.
Yeah. Can you maybe tell us something about Flamecraft?
Sure. I'd be happy to. So Flamecraft is a dragon placement and engine building game. It has beautiful art.
Yes.
And you are Flamekeeper. Your role is to help the dragons find their best home in town. So you have shops in town that you'll visit on your turn. You can place a dragon there. You can gather resources from there, or you can enchant the shops that will permanently upgrade them to add to give new resources when you visit in the future. So yes, Flamecraft is we call it Family Plus level of difficulty. It's not an incredibly complex game, but there is surprising depth to it once you learn how to play, because once you get through, so the start of the game, you have 6 shops, and they're all the starter shops. So they're just very basic. But once you start adding more shops to the board, every shop has its own special, unique ability. And the artwork on these cards and the names of all of these shops, every single one of them is unique.
Yes, really cool.
And they are, all of these abilities are also unique. And so which ones come up in any given game can really affect your strategy and what you're going for, what resources you want to gather, how hard you want to compete for different elements.
So you're not playing each game with the same stores.
Correct.
There are different stores, different abilities.
That's right, yes.
And it compares with the dragon. You can put it over there,
Exactly.
so the store is getting bigger.
You've also got fancy dragons, which are personal scoring goals. They'll either be sun or moon. The moon dragons are endgame scoring goals, and those will be just for the person who has that card.
Okay, cool.
And then the sun dragons are one-time scoring goals, where as soon as you've met the criteria on your turn, you can play the sun dragon and score the points right away.
Nice.
So there's a lot of flexibility because this whole deck, every single card is unique. The art, the name, and the ability is unique through the whole deck.
Cool. And definitely the artwork, it gives a bit of that, like Hayao Miyazaki, an anime artist
Very
with
much
lovely anime movies.
I love that.
That Spirit to the Way vibe is over there. I can see it through the cards, so really nice.
Terrific.
Cool. So it's going to be a huge success, or it is already a huge success.
We've been very happy with the reception here, yes.
Nice. Okay, Flamecraft, another new title here on the convention is in the Tidal Blade universe.
Yes. So yes, this is Tidal Blades Banner Festival. It's a standalone game in the Tidal Blades universe. So just to clear up any confusion, this is not an expansion. No. And this is a very different kind of game from the other, from the Tidal Blades game that's already out, and from Tidal Blades 2 that hasn't been shipped to backers yet. So Tidal Blades Banner Festival is an area control game driven by a trick-taking-like mechanism. And I say trick-taking-like instead of trick-taking because you're actually all playing your cards simultaneously, face down, and then revealing together. So there's no following suit or trumping someone else's cards. But as this trade gate moves around the board, the quadrant that it's in will define which color, which is essentially the suit, is strongest in this current hand, this bout. So when the trade gate is here, yellow is the strongest suit, and then teal, and then purple, and then orange.
Okay, yeah.
But once this moves around to another quadrant, that will change.
Yes.
And so the thing that's really interesting about this game is that no matter whether you have the highest, lowest, or middle in a trick, you're going to get some sort of reward. So the highest will get to move their watercraft around. The lowest will get to take the action that's printed on the card that they played.
Okay.
And the middle players get to place banners towards the area control mechanism.
And if you place a banner, you can also get there's an extra action.
You get an extra bonus.
A bonus, yes.
It's usually fruit. There's one place where you can place a banner, an extra banner. And if these are all covered, nothing matches the card that you played because they're covered, then you get to place in the tower, which can be really powerful if you get there early in the game.
Okay.
Because after you've played through your hand of 8 cards, we'll score the area control element, and then we'll clear all the banners off the board, except the ones in the towers.
Okay.
They stay for the whole game. And then you play through that 2 more times for a total of 3 full runs through a hand of 8 cards.
Yeah, it looks really nice with the lovely artwork of Mr. Cuddington again in the Tidal Blade universe. And what you say is really different from the large dice building
Chucker,
game
yep.
and a new
It's more
RPG
like
real playing game.
They have their RPG, and then the Tidal Blades 2 is more like a tactical combat.
Yeah, and
style
just
game.
another game in that universe, really nice. Looks great.
So glad to hear that.
Those towers, if they stay over there, does they count for both quarters?
Yes.
So
when you do the check for area control, it's by half.
Okay.
So you see this whole half of the board, you would compare banners, and that includes the tower.
Okay.
And then the other half of the board, including the tower. My pleasure.
You have another game over here.
Yes, so we have Oros.
Oros.
So Oros was on Kickstarter. We'll be delivering to backers shortly.
Okay.
And we'll be bringing this to retail in January. So this was in partnership with Ash Games. And Oros is a tile laying and worker placement game. But in addition to placing tiles, you're also sliding them around. And when they collide with each other, like a plate tectonics, they combine the numbers on the tiles. So for example, a 1 and a 2 collide, you take them both off the board and replace them with a 3.
3 tile.
When you reach 4, that's the maximum number on the tiles, but if further tiles collide with it, they form volcanoes. So you might have a level 4 tile with a level 3 volcano on it. If you take the Erupt Volcanoes action on your personal player board, you can use those volcanoes to create new tiles. So you erupt the volcano, the lava flows out, it cools, and it creates new land.
Okay.
So that's how you place new tiles on the board. There are also 2 worker placement actions that let you move the tiles on the board. So that's how you would slide them around and try to create those collisions. And the reason you want to create those collisions is that when 2 level 4 tiles combine, they form a mountain. And a mountain is where you can build your shrines, which is one of the most important elements in scoring for the end of the game. So over here, you have a single worker placement spot for building all 3 levels of the shrine. But each one will score differently at the end of the game. So you can choose, as you gain wisdom, to increase these wisdom caps, which will change the strength of these worker placement spots, including the 3 levels of building a shrine. But these just increase the end game scoring value of the shrines. So if you find that you're building a lot of this rectangular shape, the 2nd level of the shrine, then you might want to invest in increasing the value of that one. But you have to balance that with increasing the value of all of your regular worker placement abilities as well.
Okay, so you're managing over here to score points, and every player will go its own way to how it develops.
Right, you can customize exactly how your player board is set up and what kind of actions you're stronger in.
And has everybody his own player board with tiles, or just is the main board?
So this is the main board, and then each player has a worker placement board like this. But one of the actions that you can take with the worker placement actions is to send your workers out onto the main board.
Okay.
And they actually have to move around out here and get to the mountain in order to build a shrine there.
All right, cool. It looks really different from the other 2 games.
It is, indeed.
They all look really different from each other.
One thing that they all have in common is their beauty.
Yes.
They're all eye-catching, strong artwork, driven by the strong artwork.
Yeah.
One thing I love about Oros is that even though it has a very worker placement Euro-y feel to it, it's incredibly beautiful and colorful, and the art is very well incorporated into the game.
Like the purple and the blue, it's a bit of pastel and bright purple.
Yep.
Yeah, really nice. And the combination about black and purple, yes. It's very appealing.
I'm glad to hear that. You also have, on the back of every player board is an automa for that demigod. And while the fronts of the player boards are all the same, the backs are just different colors. The backs have a different automa personality for each one.
For solo, you can choose around 4. Is it for 4 players?
It's for 4. So you need to have at least 2 automa when you're playing solo, or 1 when you're playing with 2 players. But you can use automa to replace up to the full player count of 4. But you can choose whether you want your opponent to be friendly, challenging, competitive, or aggressive, based on the behavior of the automa that you choose.
Yeah. So it applies your playing style with maybe the persons who you're playing about a friendly automa to keep it safe and fun for everyone.
Exactly.
Cool.
But then if you're
mechanic.
looking for a bigger challenge,
yes.
2 things that you can do. One is to play against the more aggressive automa. The other is the board is double-sided. So what you're seeing here is the smaller version of the map. On the back is a much larger version that goes all the way to the edge of the board here. So when you slide tiles off the end, they come back on the other side, and same in this direction. But when you go around these corners, you follow these arrows.
Yeah.
So this would go from here to here. There's another loop around the outside on the other board with a second arrow to go from here to here.
Then another huge game of you guys is Destinies.
Yes.
You had lost a campaign contest about it. Is it already finished? Is it done? Or,
the contest ended on October 1st.
Yeah?
Yes, and we have some really strong entries. It's very exciting.
So you're going to choose one and build a campaign with that story.
Well, so actually the contest was to design and build your own scenario.
Yeah?
So that's actually already done.
Yeah.
The contest was to create the whole scenario in our community editor. So those are actually posted and ready to play. So if you're looking for additional Destinies content, there are now player-designed scenarios available in the app. But we also have another crowdfunding campaign coming in 2 weeks for Destiny's Witchwood, a new expansion for Destiny's.
So another new box with new content and
Exactly.
adventures
Exactly.
to dive into.
This one is Slavic folklore inspired.
Okay.
So it's got Baba Yaga's hut on the cover, and this incredible Baba Yaga's hut mini that
cool.
I'm so excited to paint myself. I can't wait.
Nice. New stuff upcoming. Auros in January. New expansion for Destinies. 2 lovely titles, Tidal Blaze and Flamecraft. So enough good games to get into play, right?
Exactly.
Nice. Is there anything else you maybe want to?
So the Auros launch in January is my next big upcoming retail launch. We don't have any official news about what we're releasing next year beyond that, but we do have several titles in the works with our studio. Another one based on the Sherlock license, based on the TV show, and we also have something that we're working on in the kids line.
Okay, yes, that's a good line. You showed Turtle Splash, a lovely
I'm so
game.
excited about
It
Turtle
looks
Splash.
really nice. And of course, the Kids Chronicle is also a very good game for children. I heard. I haven't played it yet because my kid is 3 years old. That's a little bit too young.
It's a little young, yes. Maybe 5.
It's going, yes. Thanks for your time.
It's my pleasure. Thank you so much.
Hopefully, we'll see each other next year.
I look forward to
Spiel.
it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
First of all, thank you for having me here at the Alderac Entertainment Group. Thank you for your time because it was last spot maybe. What was your name? Sorry.
It's okay. My name is Helena. I'm the crowdfunding manager for Alderac Entertainment, and thank you very much for being here.
We are here at the booth at Alderac Entertainment Group. What kind of new games did you bring here to show us in Europe from you guys?
Right, so the one that's been flying off our shelves is Ready, Set, Bet. Everybody's very excited. It's a new game by John D. Clare, and it's a betting game around horse racing.
Yeah.
Everybody's been enjoying it. We also have had a few copies of Dead Reckoning, which was our big Kickstarter hit. We recently also had a new campaign for the expansion. So we've had the first print run, whatever else we had, we just brought it here.
And it's went over like a...
I don't think we have any left, yes. Obviously we have Mariposas, we've got Cascadia, which is our big hit, Verdant, which is our new collaboration with Flat Out Games. So many wonderful games that have been here on our table.
Verdant is a bit of also that tile laying puzzle-y game like Cascadia and Calico, or is it a different something?
Verdant. So Verdant, yes, it is still a puzzly game, and it still has this very cozy feeling. It's a spatial puzzler, essentially. Beth Sobel has done a great work with the art as well, and we're very happy to be collaborating with Flat Out Games on this one too.
So Verdant, a big hit. It's just also going to backers right now, I think.
Yes,
right?
it should be fulfilling. Yes.
Okay. Then you talked about Ready Set, the 10th anniversary box of Smash Up. You guys really big hit also, right?
I mean, it's been 10 years with this game, and we're very excited. We always print new stuff for Smash Up. We have this obviously inner circle of communication in the company, so I have seen sneak peeks of the new Smash Up things coming, and I am so very excited. I cannot talk about them yet, but yes, lots of great things with Smash Up.
It's still building. It will still continue for the next.
I mean, we love it. People love it. At the end of the day, our motto is we make fun, and people seem to be having lots of fun with this one. So.
And it plays very fast. Like you choose a couple of stacks you're gonna play, and then another time you choose a different.
It's a very different experience every time. You can mix and match, and you can essentially adjust it to your play style and your preferences. And the range by now, after so many years, is so big.
There's a lot of content for it. You were talking about a next Kickstarter campaign coming up?
Absolutely, yes. We've got Shake That City, which is our next crowdfunding campaign. It's going to come on Kickstarter at the end of November. This is a city building game. You are a city planner, and you have to build the best city of your dreams. Obviously, you've got all the different elements like houses, shops, parks, anything that you can find in the city. But what we're most excited for is this shaker that you see in front of you.
Yeah.
So it has cubes inside that correspond to the different colors of the tiles, and you shake it. I hope you guys can hear that. You shake the cubes, then you push a carton that it has. It drops cubes, and when you pick it up, it reveals the pattern in which you must build the different the tiles on your board. So
a bit of tiny towns.
yes,
right?
it is kind of a, let's say, a spiritual continuation for
Take the good
tiny
things
towns.
and building further.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, people who have been seeing this game, who've been playing it, they've also played it with the designers who were here at our booth. They've been very excited with the shaker because it is a physical component that's not, just a gimmick that you shake, but it actually has the gameplay element of showing you the pattern that you must follow in order to build your city, and it's been amazing. The response has been great. The idea is that this is going to run now, and it's going to be fulfilling next year around September, so it will be ready for holidays 2023.
Yeah, so a big hit for next year on Spiel probably.
Fingers crossed. Yes, that's the plan. Let's
Yes.
hope that China doesn't close for 2 months again.
That's not good for this convention. So you need to put out like 3 houses
Yes,
on
so-
similar.
Yeah, so essentially this shaker has the pattern. You have a 3x3 grid of different cubes. Each of the colors of the cubes corresponds to the different colors of the tiles that has different city elements. The first player chooses one color, let's say red, so they need to place the red tiles on their board. The rest of the players have to not choose red, but they can choose the same color. So the second or the third player, for example, might both decide they want green. Around the board, you will see that there are some extra tiles that depict more victory conditions. So you will have to always check where it's best to place which colored tile, because, for example, it makes sense that you put your house tiles in the row that depicts that you should have at least 4 houses in order to score more points.
Yes.
So it has that puzzly element, it has a strategy, it has that a little bit of a luck factor from the cube, but it is a quite strategic game. It's a family plus, I would say.
Okay, cool. And you score after this much rounds.
You play 15 rounds in the game. There are different. There are regular scoring conditions. So, for example, the parks, when they're close to houses, they score 2 points. But if they're close to something else, they score 1 point. Because hey, it makes more sense to have a park close to a house rather than a factory, right?
Yes.
But then you also score the extra points from the tiles that you have around your board, and the person that has the most points at the end of the game wins. It also has a solo variant, so it plays 1 to 4 players, and it takes between 20 and 45 minutes to play.
Yeah, okay. We will see this next year on
the tables
on
next
the tables
year.
next
Absolutely.
year. You told me there was another crowdfunding campaign coming up next year.
I mean, what we're doing, I'm not supposed to say many things, but so don't tell anybody. But what we're doing with AEG is that we're increasing our crowdfunding moments in the sense that they're not going to be all big games, okay? So you're not going to have only Dead Reckonings, for example, coming up. Obviously, we will have a couple of big campaigns per year, but we're trying to organize our marketing moments.
Yes.
So let's take Shake That City, for example. You do the crowdfunding campaign. It makes sense that, you organize your marketing around it so there are many eyes on your product at that very moment.
Yes.
Then
you look what's coming up on Kickstarter, maybe the date in the year or the day. It all involves when you go live with the Kickstarter, right?
Absolutely, and the magic of it all is that it continues afterwards, because when you fulfill and people take it in their hands, then there's still a buzz because people are getting the game, they start to play it.
Yeah.
So you do organize essentially a marketing around that time that helps into bringing the product into retail as well. So we are going to be doing several marketing moments with AG in the upcoming year, which is essentially why I'm on board.
Yeah. Is there maybe anything else you want to share, or something coming up, or have you seen a lovely game over here at Spiel, or did you only work here the whole time?
So I did have appointments at other booths as well, which made me walk around. I got one game, and that was Orichalcus, which was at the BlackRock booth. It is one of the newest games of Bruno Cathala, and I'm a huge fan.
Yeah.
I'm a little fangirl, so I just waited in line patiently during my lunch break just to get it signed.
Accurate.
But yes, with regards to AG, I need to keep my mouth shut.
But of course, you're doing a lot of appointment with other publishers
Yes.
for license, maybe probably Kickstarter campaigns.
Yes, we are doing a lot of things. We're trying to bring our games to as many people as possible in as many languages as possible, and we have many exciting collaborations that are coming up. And yeah, I mean, we are growing. I mean, people think that we are a big publisher, but there's still room for growth.
Okay, yeah.
So we try to bring more games to more people, help them have more fun.
Yeah.
And this is what we're going to be doing in 2023 as well. We have some very, very exciting games coming up, which I cannot talk about now.
Well, we're gonna build it up.
One thing at a time. So let's start with Shake That City.
Yeah.
We hope that we shake up people's worlds with that. And we'll take it from there. But do keep your eyes on AG because we have many things for 2023.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much for being here. It's exciting to talk to you.
Thank you for listening to the Board Game Brothers podcast. That was our special episode around Spiel this year. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you want to make contact with us or have any feedback to share, you can send an email at info@boardgamebrothers.nl or you can send a message at our Instagram page. For now, bye, and as we say in Dutch, houdoe en bedankt.